I'm sorry, Mom. You're never going to get any grandkids. Dead or alive. The black sheep of the fighting game world. If there was a fighting game Hall of Fame, it would inevitably be on there, but that's a fact that most of the FGC would either disagree with or just not want to be true. Don't get me wrong, on a mechanical level, there are way better games in the 3D fighting game genre than Dead or Alive, but its legacy and infamy keep it at least recognizable. You see, there are only a couple 3D fighting games the average normie will even know the name of. Tekken, because you could go to a third world country where water and basic human rights were as rare as diamond, and there would still be people playing Tekken. Soul Calibur, R.I.P. And Dead or Alive. This game won Best Fighting Game in 1997, sold around 2 million copies in almost every entry starting with DOA 2 and ending with DOA 6. It has multiple spin-offs, including a blackjack game, an RPG, and of course, the extreme games. Oh, what? You didn't know about the extreme games? Multiple of their own characters making guest appearances in games like Dynasty Warriors, Neo 2, and at least a couple gacha games. Listen, you may not like it, but this is what an iconic video game franchise looks like. Okay, I see you're still not convinced. How about this? My brother is a 27-year-old man. He grew up playing video games like a lot of boys did, then random games our parents would buy us, and of course Halo, because we loved Halo. But once he entered his teen years, he ate a steady diet of COD and Assassin's Creed before giving up gaming completely after leaving high school. He has never touched a fighting game in his life. But even he knows what Dead or Alive is. Granted, mostly as the game with the titties, but hey, game is game. Meanwhile, even some of my nerdier friends don't even know what Virtua Fighter is. There, okay? That's why Virtua Fighter is not on my fake imaginative list, okay? So all you Redditors can stop typing in my comment section, okay? It's not that I think it's bad, it's just objectively not that recognizable. But while all those other games have either long legacies or deep mechanics to keep people coming back, Dead or Alive always had to search for love through more baser natures. As the old saying goes, sex sells, and Dead or Alive took that to heart and made that their entire business model. While Tekken and Soul Calibur are far from being modest, I mean they have more than several Gunnar-bait characters, neither have made it so core to their franchise than DOA. For example, around the time of the creation of DOA 5, the creators of the game thought they would cut out all the fan service stuff and make a game that could be taken seriously, and not completely weird out normal people. Only to be hit with a massive response of, no, put it back in. And the funniest part about that story is they actually did. Enter the 2000s, an era in which bad movies flourished. Maybe it was the tweeness of the time, maybe it was because cable made it more important to make content that could just be consumed, or maybe it was just because Hollywood was out of ideas. But there were a lot, and I mean a lot, of bad movies in the 2000s. Because for every Lord of the Rings and Castaway, there was Battlefield Earth, The Happening, Catwoman, almost every movie. But there were rules. They had to be raunchy, had to already be existing IPs, and have more sex appeal than a Playboy magazine. So knowing this, it's not that much of a surprise that Hollywood started dipping their toes in video games. Okay, at this point in time, movie adaptations of games were not a new thing. Plenty have been done in the 90s. Like Mario, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat. But at the turn of the millennium, the taste of these movies changed to appeal to the times. Nothing represented this more than the fact that the biggest two video game movies at the time were Tomb Raider and Resident Evil. The last one having a main character that wasn't even in the games. But she was hot, so she was essential. But remember, this was the 2000s. At this point in time, there weren't that many iconic video game franchises to choose from. God of War came out in 05, Assassin's Creed 07, and the ones that did exist, Hollywood weren't equipped to do movies for. Okay, maybe they were, but I don't think anybody was jumping at the bit to give Lord of the Rings money to a Final Fantasy adaptation. God, could you imagine? So take yourself back into the mind of a Hollywood executive. You're sitting at a meeting table trying to discuss whether a video game you can make into a mediocre movie so you can swim in the royalty generation like you're Scrooge McDuck. But you need something that can be reasonably made into a movie with a low budget. You need something with a lot of action so you make people forget that your script is awful. And you need sex appeal, because bad movies in the 2000s weren't greenlit unless they had sex appeal. And all of a sudden, another one of your executive friends of yours bursts into the room. He looks ragged and crazy, and you can tell by his white upper lip he's been brainstorming. He rushes over to you with a crazed look in his eye. He leans in real close and whispers into your ear almost lovingly. Blood rain. But it flops, so you try Dead or Alive. So I have to be honest, I've never played any of the Dead or Alive games. All those games came out either before I was even interested in fighting games, circa 2018, or most of them before I was a gooner, circa 2011. So most of these characters are completely alien to me. In fact, there's really only one character I recognize, but we'll talk about that later. Because right now we have to be introduced to this movie's protagonists. Yes, you heard that right. This movie has not one, not two, but 3 separate protagonists. Well, I guess technically 4 if you count the one they tacked on at the end, and if you think that a single one of them have anything actually compelling going on under the surface, well, you would be incorrect. The first one it introduces us to is Kasumi. When we meet her, she's arguing with her subordinate Ryu, who we'll talk about later, about whether or not her brother is still alive. I promise it's not as dramatic as I made it sound. You see, Kasumi is the princess of her ninja clan, and if her brother is dead, that means she must lead the clan. But she knows he's still alive, so she must venture to find him. But if she leaves, she breaks a pact or something, so they have to send an assassin out to kill her. Why does the clan have to kill her when she leaves? Not explained. I guess ninja clans go by like weirdo code logic. Yeah, one thing you learn quickly about this movie is it's pretty stupid. It's all flash and no class. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Next, we get introduced to the second protagonist, Tina Armstrong, a former professional wrestler that's grown tired of the fakeness of wrestling and is now in the need for real fights. Our introduction to her is her fighting pirates on a yacht. Look, I realize wrestling is fake and all, but like, shouldn't she be like using wrestling moves? Why is she fighting like Bruce Lee? I don't know, it just feels weird, but I'm never gonna disagree with her. Our next protagonist is Nina, a thief, who is more naked than the other two as she takes out a whole bunch of guys. That was kind of hot. You see, Nina was in a relationship with this guy named, she was in a relationship with this guy, and he stole a whole bunch of money and sold her out to the cops. Don't worry though, she'll get to see a lot of this guy real soon. Okay, so like each one of these girls gets invited to the Dead or Alive tournament, a weird game show combat tournament thing on a secluded island. And I have to take a plane and do like karate parkour to get to it, but that's not really important. I'm just gonna skip past all that. I'm gonna give you the shortened version. This guy's name is Zach. He's a jerk to Tina. Ryu, who we'll talk about later, followed Kasumi from her ninja island. Nina's boyfriend is at the tournament too, and they all find a Buddha head. Okay, cool, you're caught up. When we get to the island, we get introduced to the director of the tournament,
Dr. Victor Donovan.
Yeah.
Dead or Alive was created by the late, great, famed Douglas, Helena's father, and my very good friend.
Take that notebook out again and write this down on the list of things I need to talk about, because I have several things I want to say about this scene. But right now, it's time for some casual TNA.
Remind you the importance of this procedure.
It's important? I know, but you can't stop Zach, man. You can only hope to contain him a little bit.
My boy. Nobody will ever make me hate you. Now we get to see some guy at the monitor staring at Helena. You know, the girl from earlier? As he's looking at her naked. If that sounds creepy, well, it's supposed to be romantic. As a director guy...
Dr. Victor Donovan.
Yeah, comes in and it's revealed that they're injecting contestants with nanobots. Ew. I love that everybody's training, hitting sandbags, doing kung fu, and Elena's just skating. Really putting a lot of work there, girl. And she still manages to somehow beat her first opponent. What a type of weird training. As we go through the first couple matches, everybody fights a series of nobodies. And look at that, they all get ahead in the tournament. Wow, who would have guessed? As that ends, Kasumi has a flashback of her brother as he saves her after she has gotten captured. What does this scene have to do with the rest of the movie? I don't know. Did it say anything about her brother? He's a good fighter, I guess. And after a talk with
Dr. Victor Donovan.
I get it!
Okay, I'm gonna promise I'm gonna stop doing the bit now. We figure out that her brother Hayate fought in DOA and lost fighting Leon, this hunk of muscle right here. And then he mysteriously disappeared. Oh yeah, that's not ominous at all. And then we get led into another flashback. I mean, did we really need 2 flashbacks, bro? Like, the first one wasn't even important, and this one is just seeing her brother leave to go to DOA. Information you already told us. Like, why is this necessary?
I could go with you.
No. You have to stay and lead the clan. Farewell, Kasumi.
Dude, look at her face. She's not interested in leading at all. She's like, I don't want to do all that. That seems like a lot of responsibility. Yeah, don't believe her when she says she's doing all this to save her kingdom. She's just too lazy to run a kingdom. Okay, let's skip all this other stuff, shall we? Nina and the other guy want to steal the money from the tournament and think Helena is the key. Tina gets sexually harassed, and Kasumi fights Leon. I can't hate this movie. I just can't. The next matchup is between Tina and her dad Bass, who entered the tournament to convince Tina to get back into wrestling. I think it's not really made clear actually why he's here. I didn't mention him before because it didn't seem important. Nothing Tina does is important to the overall plot. She's just sort of here. And you know, despite that, if she wasn't, this movie would be significantly worse. She's just the best. Slay queen. Slay. Anyways.
I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my authority as your father by coming in anyway!
And after a brief bout of gay panic because they're friends now because of the karate parkour, Bass and Tina decide to fight in the morning. And they do, and she wins. Then they play volleyball because that's also an essential part of the series.
This game started for all of you. DOA style. Bring it on.
Why is he commentating this? It seems unnecessary. While that's happening, Ryu infiltrates the DOA base. And let me just stop right here and say a few things. Because this is the part where I mark off that thing from your list earlier. Because Ryu is the only character I recognize from this movie. Because he's from a different game. Yet those of you that are fans of DOA will know that the creators of DOA also make this other little game known as Ninja Gaiden. Listen, I played the Ninja Gaiden games and never once knew that they were connected to Dead or Alive. But let me just say that I'm so glad they are, because I never got to talk about it before, but this guy playing Ryu just oozes aura. Like every scene this nigga is in, he looks raw as hell. He'll just be standing there, and it'll be the coolest thing you've ever fucking seen. I wish I could be even slightly as cool as this guy on a bad day. I wish I could be in this guy's body.
Pause.
No, I mean, like, I wish I could exist inside him.
Talk again.
No. I mean, like, I wish I could be him, you know, and flex his muscles, you know, and
Gay!
Also, he gets captured. Back to the volleyball game, all of a sudden a knife gets thrown at Kasumi and she runs away into the bamboo woods, where she fights Ayane. Did I explain Ayane? Okay, well, she's the assassin come to kill her, but she's also her brother's girlfriend. Does that make any sense? Okay, they have a pretty cool physics-defying bamboo fight, and then she leaves. I still can't hate this movie. Hop back to the beach, and the creepy guy is trying to get with Helena, which is going,
I'm Weatherby.
What are you doing?
not great. So he goes to buy her a drink, only for her to disappear. Oh, don't worry, she just moved over there and for some reason seems interested now. Why? I have no idea. She should be creeped out, right?
Hey, baby, come on, loosen up. It's a party. Come on, you know you want to dance with me.
I swear, this guy flip-flops between hating on her and wanting to fuck her. Jesus Christ, bro. Like, what is your problem? But that gets cut short as Tina attacks him because Tina's next match is Zack himself. But they don't want to interrupt this beautiful party, so they decide to fight at sunrise. And what a glorious fight it is. Oh. Oh. Oh, fuck yeah. As the fight ends with Tina kicking him off the balcony, Zack apologizes for being a misogynist and shakes Tina's hand. Oh yeah, that totally makes up for the open sexual harassment. Next match is between Nina and Helena, which they decide to do in the rain, half naked for some reason. As this cool sequence ensues where Nina has to memorize a tattoo that's on the back of Helena's neck so she can steal the money from the tournament. They fight some more until Nina finishes off with a, is that throw? Or like a... whatever this is. Flash to the future where Nina is writing down what she remembered, and it turns out the tattoo holds a secret code that can help them get inside the Buddha head. You know, the one they saw while doing the karate parkour. But Nina's win means she moves up into the tournament, leaving the last four being Tina, Nina, Kasumi, and Ryu. Also, this means the end of the whole tournament part of the movie. Hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. Cut to our three protagonists eating lunch together as they realize that none of them have seen Ryu in a while, and go to try to find him. While doing that, they discover a secret door into the inevitable final boss room and find Ryu lying on the floor before they all get hit with knockout gas as the door closes behind them. Meanwhile, White Urkel talks to his crush Elena after her devastating loss from Nina.
I guess you had a pretty rough day.
You could say that.
Then he just decides to lay a whole bunch of exposition on her and tell her all about how Donovan killed her father, which, okay, listen. The only hint to that even being a thing was this scene right here, and it kind of bugs me that it just comes out of nowhere. Like, this guy was perfectly okay with working under this guy, no issues, and didn't have any qualms that he literally killed anyone at all, and was even down with the whole nanomachine stuff. But now he's decided to reveal all the secrets because he wants to get laid.
Donovan has taken my concept and used it for his own ends. So stupid, I should have done something earlier.
Yeah, why didn't you? But as soon as they get up, they get attacked by ninjas because Donovan was watching them, and he's on to Urkel's betrayal.
I've got your back, Helena! Ow!
I wish I could show you this whole fight scene, man. It's just so weird. Like the cuts, the choreography, all of it. It's so bad. But Helena finishes off all the ninjas and her and Urkel run away to stop Donovan. Back in the final boss cave, all of our protagonists are captured as Donovan finally uses his nano sunglasses machine and absorbs all their fight moves into his brain.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it ain't over yet as he releases Kasumi's brother, Hayate, from his imprisonment, because apparently he was just chilling behind that door over there all this time, and gives him an ultimatum. One match, mano a mano, and if he wins, everyone goes free, and if he refuses, they all die. And being that that's not really a choice at all, Hayate accepts. And as Donovan puts on his sunglasses, he sees the match play out before him before it even begins, and uses his precognition to defeat Hayate. He like fully kicks him out of the boot head, which is crazy, because that's like a concrete wall, like holy shit. And with that done, Donovan live feeds his fighter data to buyers around the world. But Urkel, who was already sitting at his computer terminal trying to unlock their pods, sees this, and he just can't let this stand. So he goes into Hacker Man mode. And just like that, he stops him and alerts the CIA. Oh, thank God. I was fearfully close to feeling any kind of tension at all. But Donovan runs to the terminal, beats up Elena real fast, bitch slaps Urkel, and turns on self-destruct for the entire island. Oh no! But Urkel quickly unlocks all the girls' pods and they fight Donovan right next to the Buddha head. It's kind of like a long and drawn out fight, and it's very strange. That ends with Kasumi paralyzing them and everybody jumping off the island. The movie ends with all of our heroes driving away in a boat as they kiss all of their new boyfriends and ride away into the sunset. Except for Tina. She didn't get a boyfriend. None of them could handle her anyway. She needed a certain type of guy. And you know what?
He is I and I am him.
You know, all things considered, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's not good. Don't get me wrong, this movie is not winning any Oscars, but given the fact that it is a Dead or Alive movie, it's everything I would have ever wanted from that concept. Not that I would have ever wanted that concept. It scratches that ugly caveman side of my brain that wants to see attractive women and cool fight scenes and mashes them together into a very dumb, badly edited, wonderful mess that I will say, only one final time, makes a movie I can't fully hate. Even if it is objectively bad, I could watch this movie 1,000 times. But I have to talk about something in this segment, so I guess I'll go through the movie's 3 biggest issues. In order from what I actually don't dislike about the movie into what actually legitimately annoys me. Number 3, the wire work. This movie has a lot of fight scenes, and if you've been paying attention, a lot of them have a very common thing happening. A lot of characters being able to literally jump higher than Mario. Sometimes being dragged across the screen so hard I'm confused how the whiplash didn't kill them. But like I said before, I don't really hate this feature. It is actually quite hilarious to see these characters just blast off like they're from Team Rocket. It makes me giggle. Number 2, the protagonist problem, in which I mean there are too many. Now usually when people say that, they mean that it overcomplicates the plot, but that doesn't really apply here because this movie doesn't really have a plot. It's just a whole bunch of characters doing stuff until the final act just sort of shows up. What I mean is that there are too many main characters because all of them get focused on, but none of them actually do anything. We have one with an actual goal they wanted to accomplish, one that unlocks a door, one that has daddy issues, and one with the backstory. Wow. With their powers combined, they make one full protagonist. Extraordinary. And number 1, Kasumi. Just her in general. Like every time she shows up, my interest in what is going on plummets extraditiously. Her whole goal is lame. She always talking about some man every time she shows up, and she looks weird. Should have had more Ryu.